Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Fix Computers. I've got an iMac here, which I've already removed the front glass from. I've got no sound. This thing is stuck on, I believe it's stuck on optical output only, because it chimes when you boot it up, so the speakers work and are connected. The sound devices are detected, the microphone works. But when you go to output device select, you only have digital out. So I've tried unplugging and plugging in headphones and stuff like that. That didn't make a difference. So, you know, it's not a dicky switch or anything like that I can see. And I'm kind of stumped. Now, the problem is that this is a second-hander that I purchased from eBay that's due to be delivered to the customer. I'd done the SSD conversion on it and everything. And then at the last moment, I was like, hold on, I've got no sound. So I'm already quite frustrated with this because this was supposed to be delivered a while back and I want it paid for and everything. And I've kind of left it a while I just wish I'd spotted this like 2 weeks ago, because then I could just get straight onto the eBay seller and say, sound don't work, give me a different one. And I've kind of left it on the late side. I mean, it's not too late for me to do that and just say the truth. Say it just sat in the shop waiting to be collected, and then the client noticed that there was no sound, but whatever, I don't know. So I'm going to make an attempt to fix it myself first, just because that would be an awful lot easier than messing about having to send it back, because I don't want to deal with that. It's a really unfortunate scenario, to be honest. So I don't really know what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm going to start taking the logic board out, because here, see, the interesting thing is I did notice, if I flip this guy over, something rattling around in there. You see those USB ports? You see how they're not perfectly centered? You know, that, I think the logic board has been taken out of this thing before. And I don't know if that's relevant or not, but, you know, it looks like the logic board has come out of this thing before. So I'm just going to take it apart again and do a visual inspection and see if I spot anything, basically. Again, I really don't know what I'm expecting to achieve from this, but I don't know. If I can make it work, if I can just get that sound working again, then my problem goes away. Everything else on the device works just fine. It's just no sound. And it's such a frustrating problem. So yeah, that connector's a bit crap. What's that? Oh, a CPU fan, power fan. Yeah, no, I don't know what that's about. I can't see it being a loose connection. I've got a feeling that it's, I think it might be a dicky headphone jack, and I'm kind of hoping that I can find some way of just somehow disabling that headphone jack. Frustratingly, there's no hardware solution, there's no software solution to this. You know, I've searched at length, and this is a very well-known problem on laptops where the headphone jack wears out and mistakenly thinks you've got a optical jack plugged into it all the time, or headphone jack sometimes. There's no software solution. There's no way of forcing it onto a particular output, which is really annoying. So yeah, here we are taking this thing apart. Right, I think I've rambled enough now. I've rambled for 3 minutes. I'm just going to start taking all these screws out. We'll get the logic board out and we'll go from there. Crap, the super drive and everything has got to come out. I think the giveaway for what you need to remove to take one of these iMacs apart, because I can never remember, I very rarely take logic boards out, and that's kind of a problem because now I'm afraid of doing it because I'm just like, I've only done this a couple of times. But at any rate, I think the secret is basically I've got a T10 in my hand here, And all of these are all T8s, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, there's two sizes. There's T8s and T10s. The T10s are holding the logic board into the Mac, and the T8s are holding heat sinks and such like onto the logic board. So basically, make sure you've got a T10 in your hand, and if the screwdriver doesn't fit, that screw doesn't need to come out. However, we do gotta take out the super drive and the optical drive fan. I don't think we need to remove the CPU fan, but that guy's not too difficult to get out if we do have to. Right, here we go. There we go. What's holding on? Main power cable. Let's flip that over. Get off, get off, get off. There we go. Right. The audio jacks are not integrated into the logic board. That's cool. Wasn't expecting that. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do, see now the problem is that diagnostics routines would dictate that I change one thing at a time, but I just want it to work part of me is looking at all these things I could possibly do to make it work. I want to remove that RTC battery. I've already tried doing what is supposed to be an SMC reset on this, but I never fully trust these kind of reset techniques when there's still some kind of battery in there. For me, battery removal is the one true reset, but whatever. So that's an option. Another option then the other thing we've noticed is that, so because those audio jacks are not integrated on the logic board, they're separate in there. I didn't know this was the case because I've never done audio diagnostics on an iMac. If we'll have a look down there, you can see they've actually stayed in there. And they're on a separate fly lead. Which one are they on? That must be this, yeah, that's this guy. So theoretically, I wonder if I left the audio jacks disconnected, unless they were disconnected, wouldn't that be interesting? That would explain why it didn't respond to me plugging in headphones either. Right, I'm just going to pause and review my footage to see if I can figure out if I disconnected that guy or not. Interesting, the camera angle doesn't show it. However, like the chassis was back to here, and like I would have had to properly get my fingers in there. There's no way that I disconnected that thing without noticing. I would have been like, oh, look at this guy back here. What's up with that? So I think we're onto something here. Okay, right, let's start reassembling this thing. I'm going to gamble that I've got the right answer here. Now the problem is just refitting these things. What a nightmare. Okay, right, that I'm going to plug in now. I really think that wasn't plugged in. I really hope that's the answer. Right, got to work that guy down there. How does that fit in? Oh, rubbish. I'm going to take the bottom cover off because I think that's obstructing me. Right, let's back out a sec. I'm going to refit the memory because I don't need to, that doesn't need to be fitted here, and I can actually reduce the size of the logic board a little bit by taking that out. God, I hate taking motherboards out of iMacs. This is one of my most hated jobs. Oh, there we go, that's going in. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Whew. It's a horrible feeling, not having confidence in what you're doing. And it's times like this when you're doing something and you're like, oh, I don't like this job. where you can understand how people who are new to this can feel. It goes in, then hard drive temp, LCD temp, optical drive temp, that's fine. Those are going to go up there. I might unplug some of these connectors as I put the rest of the thing back in. I'm just hooking them up just to make sure that nothing's lost. That's that. Then the microphone plugs in down here on a crazy snaky wire coming down from the top. That's the mic, whatever that is. Optical drive fan, no problem. And then IR sensor, that's that guy. Alright, okay, we're getting somewhere. Right, I'm going to put in like a screw just to locate this thing in place, just so it's not moving about, and we'll put the rest of it back together again. I like that. Alright, optical drive fan. So let's just cram that microphone cable back in there, because that just goes wherever. Now, what the hell does that do? Okay, that goes in like that. Okay, yep. Right, I feel a false sense of security right now. This is going slightly too well for my liking. Although, I'm not sure about the screw fitment. That one must have gone in over there. Oh, I do have another short one. No worries. Should have kept track of those. Okay, here's our hard drive sensor. And because I've done an SSD conversion on this, this guy is currently in override mode. I've got a jumper that I've put across the pins on there. You can see where I've just put in a metal link that's shorting these two pins out. And that basically tricks the iMac into thinking that the hard drive is running at ice cold temperatures. And that is to defeat the fact that the stock hard drive uses the engineer port on the hard drive, and obviously we don't have that connector on any SSD, so we short the sensor out and that defeats the sensor basically. The SSD isn't going to overheat, so we're not concerned about that. Really? How many sizes of screw are there? Are you kidding me? Oh, that's disgusting. There are three sizes of long screw. And this huge long one must go up here. There we go. Right, and one more? Any more for any more? Oh crap, where are my Wi-Fi antennas? Oh no. Oh, they're okay, they're okay. I thought I'd buried the Wi-Fi antennas, but they're accessible. You know, I'm putting far too much back together again. I'm really gambling that I've solved this. However, I'm at that point now where I've put so much of it back together, I may as well roll the dice and assume that I've fixed it. You know what, let's go nuts and put the SSD back in. No guts, no glory. Well, this isn't guts, this is just stupidity at this point. Never fully reassemble if you're not sure if it's going to work or not. You put all the screws in when you know it's going to work. Alright, let's put an LCD in there. Ugh. Alright, let's stick some RAM in that. That'll frighten the life out of me if I forgot to put the RAM back in and then it didn't post. I'd be like, shit. Time to find out if my entire week is saved. Post. Thank you. Yes. We've got volume on the login screen. Go into my temp account. Okay. Sound. Internal speakers. Whew. Gimme them noises. Yeah. Put in the comments what's your favourite noise that the Mac makes. Mine's tied between the submarine and the purr. Oh, you can tell I'm happy that this is working. So, all of that was days of me fretting over this because some numpty who took the logic board out of this didn't plug the sound connector back in. So it mistakenly thought that there was an optical thing connected. Cool. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.